to my third ever paper versus picture, motion picture that is, video. Today I will be talking about Beast from 1991 and The Beast from 1996. I will be comparing both of them starting now. The overall story is similar. A giant squid invades a small fishing town that has a low income of fish, which in turn makes the squid hungry, and people are its next target. However, how everything goes down is much different. I'll explain how in the upcoming sections. Every character either has a different backstory or importance level when compared to the book and movie. Charlotte, Whip's wife, is still alive in the book, when in the movie she died at sea. Also, Marcus Sharp plays a much larger role in the book, while being a semi-important character renamed Ensign in the movie. Another thing about Marcus is that his wife is the one who died years before, which never really amounts to anything, unlike Charlotte in the movie, who symbolizes for Whip and Catherine that it's just the sea, meaning it's just the way things go. Also, Catherine was Marcus's wife in the book, but in the movie she's Ensign's co-pilot. Mike is also a bigger character in the movie, whom has a pregnant wife named Nell, while in the book he was obviously expendable and not too bright. Lucas actually dies when he takes two siblings, as opposed to two thrill seekers like in the movie, on a dive, whom are also killed in the same scene. Which leads me to Osborne Manning. He is the father of the two sibling divers and is a rich man seeking revenge, as opposed to him being a rich cowboy who buys everything in sight like in the movie. Dr. Herbert Talley isn't really much different in the book than he is in the movie. The only difference is that he lives in the book, which I prefer over him dying in the movie. Skylar Graves is a big deal in the movie, but in the book, I think he's mentioned like once or twice, if that. Dana, Whip's daughter, is a very minor character in the book. In fact, Charlotte has minimal time in the story too. I guess it's all up to the men again to stop the beast. It's the Ben Shelley way. I feel as though the characters are fleshed out more in the movie, which is actually a very hard task to accomplish. Perks of being a near 3-hour movie, I guess. Point goes to the movie. To be honest, neither the movie nor book is particularly gory. There are scenes in the movie that describe the vicious bites from the suckers on the tentacles. However, so does the movie, but it only describes, doesn't show. Still, when people scream in the movie while the tentacles are wrapped around them, you can tell it hurts. Also, the trio in the sub being killed off happens in the film and the book, although the people in the sub aren't the same. Now, I will say the scene where the squid attacks the sub is scary in the book, mainly for describing more than the movie showed. But I wasn't invested in these characters like I was with the ones in the movie. Their screams are terrifying. And when in the movie they scream, "Oh my god, it's breaking through!" It is like a gut punch to the audience. One character I didn't mention yet is Christopher, because he isn't in the book, and I feel it is more important to talk about him here. He is Herbert Talley's assistant and Dana's love interest in the movie. He was on the sub when it got attacked, and he died, leaving Dana in a state of depression. I really feel for her because the two thrill seekers in the beginning were sort of an interest to her, and they too die, so it really makes her have to go through a lot. Especially after Whip tells Catherine about his wife drowning out at sea in a storm. She sees her father heading out to sea in a storm, and you can tell she'd never be the same if he didn't come back. As for the kills, the book has more gore, but what really affected me was the sheer terror from everyone who died in the movie. I'd give it a tie though, because the book has a kick-ass scene with Whip fighting the giant squid with a chainsaw. The book really had no build-up. Whip didn't want to go out to fight the squid until he was threatened with losing his house if he didn't comply. Whereas in the movie, he is convinced it's the right thing to do. The presentations of the fight scenes between man and squid are both pretty damn excellent. In the movie, 5 characters go out, 2 come back. And in the book, 4 characters go out and 3 come back. In the movie, it is Whip Darling, Catherine, who is only allowed to go out mainly because she's one who's always trying to prove that she's equal to men, and that she doesn't want Whip to be killed. Herbert Talley, Osborne Manning, and Skylar Graves. In the book, it's Whip, Marcus, Osborne, and Herbert. The reveal of the squid in the movie is sort of cheesy, But if you get behind the characters and go on this journey, you may end up as shocked as them. In the book, it's drawn out, and the squid is mainly seen on sonar until it finally decides to do a Jaws and reach out onto the boat, sort of like in the movie. I honestly wished more characters survived in the movie. The book definitely left me more satisfied with that, but in the movie you're excited to see them succeed because there's been so much stress on every character. Either that or you're happy because this movie's 3-hour running time is over. The way they kill the squid is actually not by human hands, but a giant sperm whale legit off-screen, or in this case off-page, eats it right before the squid is about to eat Whip. In the book, that is. A poor ending, much like Peter Benchley's ending to Jaws. It's a tie between book and movie for me still, though. A lot of time and effort went into making this episode of Paper vs. Picture. I knew if I were to pick a favorite, it'd be the third time in a row that I picked the movie. I thought the movie was better than the book, but I have to give NBC Universal props. The movie, while being a bit cheesy at times, is nearly everything you'd want in a good sea monster story. Could it have been gorier? Yeah. Could have the acting been touched up a bit at times? Yeah. Once again, Peter Benchley wrote a great book, and I don't hate it. The characters and their stories could have been worked on, though, which is distracting when this is more of a character-driven story. To the book, a 3.5 out of 5. For the movie, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. And that's it! That's the end of the third episode. Stay tuned for the fourth. Another Peter Benchley story, nonetheless. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Movie Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and to leave comments and subscribe.